Tip number 3, inbound links. Well, in the jump start, you remember, outbound links are what we covered, how to create a link from your website to somebody else. That's right, Dana. Well, an inbound link is the reverse. A link from somebody else to you. And it is, by a wide margin, the single most effective rank raiser. Okay, so you want to raise your rank fast, you want to do it for certain keywords, then doing this right, and doing it well, can actually do more good than pretty much anything else that you can do. In fact, Google has actually, this is one of the few things Google has actually said is the case, is that they really look at inbound links to judge what sort of ranking to give your page. Okay, now this isn't something that you can directly control. You can't log into NewYorkTimes.com and have them post a link back to you. So all of this kind of stuff you're going to have to do indirectly. All right. So to find out who it is that's linking to you, there's a couple of different ways. My favorite, although I usually get more results than I anticipate, list site name. bcappraisals.com. Oh, not sorry, list. Link vcappraisals.com. Is it links? There we go. I just can't type it all today. Go to links vcappraisals.com. Notice no spaces in here. Whatever your domain is, you just swap that out and put your own domain in. Don't do www in front of it, just the domain name by itself. And it will tell you what sort of links are out there. You'll notice vcappraisals.biz is actually linking to me. iWantOrders.com, there's a link in my blog to my website. There are links within other pages of my website. There's a who is link. It's like somebody here, Riddle Crack, whatever that is. That's nice, awesome, real appropriate people. And then a couple of others that will link to you. Now, you can actually see in this screen who it is that Google has on file for linking to you. The general rule of thumb is the more of these that you have, and the higher rank the page is that's linking to you, then the higher your rank will be for that particular page. So it's not just how many you have, but it's also who is linking to you. You want to get these organically, meaning that you don't want to pay somebody to do this. Google looks for what are called link farms. And we talked earlier about getting blacklisted. I have also seen appraisers get blacklisted from Google for paying somebody, a link farm is the term, to actually list them and to create the links to their websites. So you want to use what are called relevant reciprocal links. That the term is relevant reciprocal linking. This is, say for instance, you're the appraiser, there's a realtor in your area, and this realtor has their own website. It doesn't even have to be an Alamode website, I mean any website vendor. They have a website and they link to you. Okay? You link to them, they link to you. It's relevant because it's real estate related. It's reciprocal because you folks are doing it back and forth to each other, and obviously linking is meaning that it's a click to go from one website to the other. It's organic because you find their information interesting, they find your information interesting. That's what it's all about. Don't pay somebody to do this. Relevant reciprocal linking is going to be the way to go to get you started off here. Let me tell you, in this fourth bullet point here, pro bono article to a local periodical. I heard about somebody doing this, and I tried it once, where my ranking just actually shot through the roof for a personal website of mine that I had done. Actually, my name, Joel Baker, my website went from, it was like a 2-month-old website, which this is unheard of for a 2-month-old website. It jumped up for Joel Baker to number 6 in Google, just Joel Baker, my name. It's not there now because I haven't done anything to the website in 3 years. I haven't made any changes, which indicates to Google that I'm pretty much worthless. So they've totally lowered my ranking. But here's what I did. I created a press release. Just I think it was 3 paragraphs, one very small, 1-sentence paragraph. But in the middle was the middle paragraph was a link back to my website. I said, like I said in blah blah blah, and right there in the middle of the paragraph, I linked to a particular page of my website. When you do that, when you link to a particular page, not your home page, it's called a landing page. So you do that. The terminology there is called a landing page. And I created that landing page, and where I went into more detail. And it wasn't much. I mean, it was only, I think, like 9 sentences long, the whole thing. It wasn't very long at all. But I had a link to my website that was built into it, www. And then I had my personal website in there. And what I did is I took that and I emailed and faxed it to about a dozen periodicals, local periodicals here. The Daily Oklahoma, which is the main newspaper, the Gazette, which is the weekly newspaper, and several others, including a couple of online-only sites for local news and information. From what I could tell, nobody printed it in the physical edition of their periodical or wherever it went. I never saw it anyway, so I don't know. But it didn't matter to me. That wasn't what I was going for. What happened is a lot of these folks took the press release and they put it in the archive section of the science section of their website, and it was part of the quote-unquote archive section. Well, Google actually reads pretty much every page that they can find, right? And they saw that the Daily Oklahoman, which is a website that's highly ranked for a lot of keywords, especially local stuff, and they saw that, wait a minute, this website, even though it's a back page, is linking to this other little guy over here. And as soon as Google saw that link, my ranking shot through the roof. So my point is this, folks. If I were you, if I were an appraiser who wanted to raise my ranking for keywords, for pretty much everything, and this is not exactly figured out how Google does this, how it chooses which keywords, but it seemed to work for my name. And I've seen it work. I've seen something like this work for other appraisers, just based on things like neighborhood name and city. I've actually seen appraisers do this before with some good results. Is what they do is they write a 3 or 4 paragraph pro bono article about something they've seen in the real estate area, something specific that they've seen. You know, one guy a couple of months ago, actually about half a year ago, there were these 2 subdivisions right across the street from each other by different builders, and the prices actually started out about the same in the homes. And what happened is, over the course of 3 or 4 years, one subdivision, the houses grew in value, and in the other subdivision, they stayed the same. And the appraiser had just, sort of noticed this over the course of his having worked in the area for a little while. And he wrote an article about, this builder did such and such, and this builder did this over here, and they didn't have good marketing or whatever. I forget what was actually in the article, but it didn't really matter. What he did is he submitted it to his local newspaper, and they threw it up online. They didn't print it. They threw it up online. Google saw it. They saw the link back to his website, and it just shot his ranking through the roof. So pro bono article will be good here. Generally, whichever, I would send it to the real estate section, especially if it's going to be real estate related, right? There should be several different contact us. I'm not going to go into that. I'm not going to take the time to look that up. But I do know that there will be contact us for the various pieces of your larger newspapers, like those of you in the large metropolitan areas. The editor for whichever section. You can send it to his department. So, and of course, right now, the whole journalism profession at the moment. These folks, they would like anything they could get for free. And what you are is you are a voice that has an incredible amount of information and and deep breadth of knowledge, deep and large breadth of knowledge about a specific industry, and you're doing this for free. They love you. They will pretty much take anything they get at this point. This has become really hard for journalists to make it, and so they take a lot of stuff and they'll throw it up on their website. They may actually print it. I've had a couple of appraisers tell me, "Hey, I got printed on page 2 of the real estate section in Orlando Sentinel," or whatever it was. So you can also write on other websites if you're a part of any outside blogs, if you're a part of a forum. Your Facebook page, your Twitter page, your Active Rain page, these social networking sites, they can all link back to you. Google really right now, I'm sorry, they stink at ranking Facebook and Twitter links, but they are intentionally working to make that better. Google is looking to ways to thoroughly index Facebook and Twitter properly. Okay, number 4, Google Local. Get to the top for free. This is that Oklahoma City appraisals thing that I mentioned earlier in Google. Let me get another web page here. Oklahoma City appraisals, and I was, for a little while, number 2 up here. Not currently anymore. I have my own listing. If I can find it in here. I may have disabled it intentionally so I don't compete with other people. We shall see, we shall see. Oh, no, I didn't. Here it is. VC appraisals, a la mode appraisal training. This is a link back to my website, obviously. Tell me information. This is sort of like an advertisement for me. This is the parking lot because I put in the address for a la mode. So the photo is of our parking lot, but it would be of obviously your business if you have a business on a street. We'll have generally have a picture there. People can get directions. They can click on here to go visit my website. Here's my phone number and so forth. This is the Google Local Business results. It's completely free. The higher your ranking in the organic results below, the higher your ranking is going to be in the Google Local Business results up top. So the more people that visit you in general, the higher your ranking is going to be here for all of them. Okay. Excuse me, let's do this here. Go to google.com, show you just how to get here from scratch. So I'm logged in, right? Everybody see that I'm logged in? I go to Business Solutions. I have rearranged this. Gotta love it when they change something, right? Okay. All of our business solutions. That's not what I'm looking for. Claim or add your business. Is this maybe what they're... Yep. Google Places. They used to call this Google Local Business. Now they've got a new name for it, which is awesome. So Google Places. This is the Google Local Business. This is what we've just been talking about right in here. You get a little bit more information on the dashboard about people coming to your website and so forth. Impressions are when people actually see on screen, when they see your things on screen. And actions are going to be, oops, certainly want to do that. And the these down here are going to be when people actually go and visit the website. So you'll notice there about the same time I got a lot of people actually clicking on the link, which was May 10th. Wow, I had 4 people click on it on May 10th. Then you'll notice later on in the week, on May 11th, I got more impressions, that's because it raised my ranking a little bit. The more people click on it, the higher your rank, and so then obviously just a little bit later here, it's a good example of that here. Obviously a little bit later on, my rank obviously rose because more people actually saw my website there. That's awesome. I haven't had a good example of that in a little while. Same thing happened right here. So you get a little bit of information. We'll talk about Google Analytics here in a moment. You can see at the bottom where the driving directions have come from. People have actually clicked the link to do driving directions. If you hover over the numbers here, it will tell you how many requests from this particular area. This is based on IP address. People are getting directions to and from and so forth. Top search queries, this is what people are searching by to find you. This is going to be almost completely unhelpful for you. There's another way to do this that's much better. One is built into the XSite and the other is part of Google Analytics, and we'll talk about that. Google can tell if you are clicking on your own website if you're logged in. So when I'm doing this here, obviously Google knows that I'm logged in and that I'm clicking on the website. But if I were logged out and doing it from another computer, Google would have no way of knowing. Obviously, I've logged in with this IP address. Google logs this IP address and associates it with me in all of my searches. But I can't just log out and click on it. I have to go to a different computer with a different IP address and click on it in order for Google to raise the ranking there. That's why it becomes, you can't just click on the page 80 times in a day and raise your rank. Google only sees that as one click because it's the same computer just coming back multiple times. So you can post things like coupon or something. Who knows? I can't imagine appraiser would use that. But you click edit to put in your information like your address and your phone number and your website link and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, you keep scrolling down here. You take payment if you want to, but most people don't set all of this up. You can do a photo, like if you've got a logo or a picture of yourself, you can actually add a photo in here. And imagine many appraisers doing videos and so forth. But this is what it looks like when people click on it. This is what it will look like over here on the side. There's a verification process when you go to save this. They will actually try and call this number, and they'll give you a code you have to type into the website. If you don't have a phone number that you're going to put in, they will email a postcard, they will mail a postcard to this address, which will give you a code that you'll need to come back to the website and type this in. This is Google Local. It's completely free, but you do have to have that free account set up with Google. Okay, number 5, Google Analytics. Also part of Google's tools. You can tell that I love the free Google tools. Google is fantastic at their tools. They have amazing tools. They just really suck at telling you what those tools are. Oops. Let's talk about analytics. I have an entire class dedicated to analytics. Not going to cover that today. I'm just going to show you where this is. Click Learn More, and I'll access analytics. Obviously, part of what you've got here. Something's wrong with my VC appraisals, but my I Want Orders is still here. Let me view my report here. See what my visits are like. Okay, so it tells me how many visits I've had, how many page views that I've had. Okay, so basically what you can do is you can, divide 232 by 88 and get how many pages people visit when they come and look at your website. Obviously, the greater the number of pages, the more likely somebody is to actually interact with you. They keep saying yes to clicking on various things. Down at the bottom, you can see where your clicks are coming from IP addresses. Looks like somebody in the Soviet Union. Somebody in Russia has been clicking on me. That's interesting. Must be some servers out there. But you can click on the map itself. Come on. Okay, that's going to take a second to come up. You scroll down and you see some overview. You can get more details on this, but it'll tell me which pages are being visited and all kinds of different things. There is a difference between what you'll find as far as page views here and on the XSite. This is where a lot of the difference will happen. You actually get a little bit more information here because you remember I had several hundred page views over the last 90 days for my blog page. There were only 14 unique people that actually visited the website that were not search engines. What Google does is it takes out the search engine traffic out of your statistics and shows you only direct traffic, people actually going there, and referring websites, people linking to you. So this gives you a much better look than you'll get with the statistics. It's much more accurate than you get with the statistics that are built into the XSite. Google Analytics will do this for you. Up here at the top, bounce rate. Bounce is very, very important. This is one thing that you want to track, and you want it high. The higher the better. 90% or above is fantastic. Let me describe what a bounce is, and then we'll talk about why it's awful. A bounce, let's say somebody, let me go back to somebody searching for Texas appraisals. They're looking for something in Houston. You work in El Paso. Okay? Go back to this setting. What happens is they do a Google search for Texas appraisals. They click on the link to go visit your website. They realize, aha, this guy doesn't serve Houston. So they hit the back button to go back to Google and do another search. Or they click on a different link in the search. They scroll down and click on somebody else. What happens is Google notices this. Google knows that they were on Google, they visited your website, and they came back really quickly. That's called a bounce. And that's bad for whatever keywords that you chose. If enough people do that, enough people searching for Texas appraisals, go to your website and then click back, Google says this particular set of keywords must not be helpful to people for this particular page. This page isn't helpful for people searching for those keywords. So Google will lower your ranking based on your bounce rates. And you can do page by page, keyword by keyword, and so forth. You can do all kinds of wonderful searches in Google Analytics here, but this is my general overview of my bounces. You generally want about 90% or better for your bounce rate. That's why being specific is more important. Somebody who's looking for an appraisal in El Paso, if they do El Paso appraisal rather than Texas appraisal, and they find your website, and they go into it, and then they look around for about 20 or 30 seconds, maybe click on another page, even if they go back to Google, Google still considers, well, they were on that page for a little while, they maybe went to another page of the website, that was at least somewhat helpful. Especially if they don't go back, then that's an indication to Google that they found what they wanted, so for that keyword, they may raise you in your ranking for that keyword for that page. Remember, your keywords, it's about particular keywords for the particular page. So you want a very, I'm sorry, not a very high bounce rate. You want a very, I apologize for that. You want a very low bounce rate. A very low bounce rate. 10%. 90%, meaning 90% of the people stay. John, and yes, that is the case. It's part of Google Analytics. There's a lot of detail that you can get out of analytics. I'm not going to go through all of this. To set up Google Analytics, there are specific things that you'll want to do. You're going to want to set it up. Yeah, Karen, I got a little confused there, and I apologize. I said the wrong thing. Let me log in, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Google Analytics, when you set it up, actually, let me go to, I'm going to log into my I want orders again. Now, hang with me, folks. I know we're at about an hour and 15 minutes into class. I I actually end with a bang. My favorite tool is one of the end tools here. So hang tight with me. Probably about 15 or 20 minutes out from being done. Okay, I'm going to go to my XSite. I'm going to go to my footer over here on the left-hand side. I'm going to build my own site footer. Now, I've got a bunch of stuff in here already, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to edit the HTML. That's this link down here. Don't be scared. Okay, for those of you that don't know HTML, it's okay. You can always click back and click on the little pen icon and get it back. But what's going to happen is Google is going to give you some information in a little window. And you're going to have to copy it and paste it into here. Okay, it's going to look just like this. Okay? Literally, you copy, right-click copy out of Google, and then you come in here. Yours will look like this, right? It'll end probably something like this. You just come in here, make a new line, and do paste. Control V to paste it right on in. Not that difficult. You just click Update. That's how you set up Google Analytics. Again, one of Google's completely free tools. Say Thursday's class is I need to take that out. We didn't do that this week. Thursday's class is about Elite in general. Easy to set up. I just showed how to do that. Okay, tip number 6, Google's keyword tool. Oh, how I love this tool. Google's AdWords tool. What does Google actually see for you? Okay. This will help you figure out which keywords are going to actually get traffic. Let's do Oklahoma City appraisals. Oklahoma City appraisal. Oklahoma City appraiser. Each one of them is different. BXZZSC. And get keyword ideas down here. Now, it will give you some good keywords for what we call keyword discovery, but what you're interested in here is this. Up at the top, Oklahoma City appraisers, appraiser, and appraisal. What I typed in. It turns out for local search volume for last month, more people looked for Oklahoma City appraisal than looked for the other two combined. So for those wondering whether to put appraiser, appraisals, or whatever, then you can actually use this tool to figure out what it's going to be. And obviously, like those of you wondering, do I put in area appraisals or San Francisco appraisals? Oop, not enough data. Oops, I probably could spell it right. That might help. John, I'm sorry about that. We'll post this class online here in a little bit. I'm recording it. And we do have a class dedicated to analytics. Analytics easily takes up 60 minutes by itself to get through the main things. So yeah, all I did was just an overview. Okay, so appraisals 320 versus appraisal 1600. You'll notice Bay Area appraisals got very few local search results. So Bay Area appraisals isn't going to help you very much. With me? Down here we have what's called, what we're going to call keyword discovery tools. This obviously, not everything is going to be helpful for you. San Francisco everywhere. Bay San Francisco. Wow, that got a lot of hits, a lot of searches. This will help you discover different keywords. We'll talk a little bit more about keyword discovery in a minute. Now remember here, you're going to want qualified traffic. That's the key here, is getting good quality traffic. All right. Number 7, the website tool. What does Google actually see for your website? Same link, different part of it. Website content. bcappraisals.com. Come on, Google. And this is just for the homepage, by the way. It does look at some links on to obviously other pages on the website if there's links on that particular page. But this is what you're interested in right in here. This information right here. The higher the number, the more likely Google thinks that it's actually a good keyword for your website. So obviously 57, that's a high number. The word appraisal. Okay, number 7, not very good. Appraisers, 14. Oklahoma, 15. Everybody see this here? So for keywords and key phrases and so forth, the higher the number, this is what Google actually sees here for you. Now this is going to be helpful for those of you that want to see what another website is doing. Let's see. Campfireappraisals.com. Okay. You can actually see what people are actually searching by to find the website and how high of a rank that particular keyword gets for Google. That's the best way to think about this. It's more specific than that, but for what you're going to do here for reverse engineering, this is what Google actually sees, what Google has on file for this particular keyword for this particular page. All right. So it's good for reverse engineering somebody else's website, see what they're doing. What is your keyword density? How the density there, that's that number that we were talking about. Okay, tip number 8, the Wonder Wheel. Like I said earlier, Google has some fantastic stuff, but they are really bad at providing you that information. Let's do OKC appraisals. Show search tools. Wonder Wheel. This is good for keyword discovery, meaning finding keywords that you may not have thought about, either for area-related or appraisal-related keywords. So maybe click on appraisal services, online appraisal services, no, vision, no. Home appraisal services. Home inspection services, home valuation. Maybe I didn't think of the word valuation. Or the word property appraisal. And click on property appraisal. State information services. Obviously I can go back here. Let's go back to appraisal services. Let's do, let's go back to OKC appraisal services. Let's do Oklahoma City, whatever, real estate appraisal, school, jobs, house appraisal. Maybe I didn't think of house appraisal. House appraisal tips, house value. You see how I can just use this Wonder Wheel to discover maybe some different keywords that I haven't thought about. This obviously based on a history of what Google has on file for people actually doing searches. So this is the Wonder Wheel is good for keyword variations and keyword discovery. That's tip number 8 here, is the Wonder Wheel. Pretty self-explanatory, and you'll use this a few times when you get the hang of it. Tip number 9, my absolute favorite tool here is for SEO is the rank checker. It's free. You do have to sign up with another company to get an SEO book, but they don't charge you. They say, look, we'll give you this fantastic tool for the ability to market to you. Great marketing utility for them, and fantastic tool for you. But you do need to use Firefox, the browser, so you have to install Firefox for it. Open Firefox, because it is a plugin dedicated to Firefox. All I have to do is just open it here. Tools, Rank Checker. I'll choose Run. Okay. Gosh, I just love the heck out of this. I'm going to come over here and say add multiple keywords. I'm going to choose a domain. Let's do vcappraisals.com. Let's do OKC Appraisals, OKC Appraiser, OKC Appraisals, OKC Appraisers. Then I'm going to actually copy these, and I'll change the OKC to be Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City. It's going to take just a second here to get this set up. Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City. And even this, remember, if I make any change to it, it's a different search, right? I copy those, and this time I'll go in here and I'll add in, for those of you that do FHA. And what you can do here is spend about 5 or 10 minutes just filling in all types of different searches that you want to see how you rank for these in Google and Yahoo and Bing, obviously. And you'll probably fill in, maybe 100 or so of these. And I'll click Add, which adds these searches here. It's all the way up, which adds these searches in here, and you can actually save these to load this search again. That way, you want to just rerun this search. You can come back in here and rerun them. I'm going to go ahead now and at the bottom hit Start. Okay, this is a good indication that something has gone wrong here. Talk about that in a second. Okay. Now, by default, this rank checker has done something to hack. I've done something to hack Google off by using it, because Google hasn't given me. Obviously, I have very high ranking for OKC appraisals, but because I have rank checker by default checked too quickly, every 2 or 3 seconds, then Google's obviously giving me nothing. Google is saying, I'm going to get no more requests from this website here. But what you're going to see eventually is Yahoo and Bing over here. You're going to see your ranking. Number 8 means page 1, page 1, page 1, page 1 for each of these 4. I'm 38. That means I'm page 4. 63, that means I'm page 7. Means I'm not doing something right for whatever keywords that I've chosen for this particular line. Everybody with me on this? So it checks all 3 search engines here. I need to update my rank checker. I haven't updated this program here in just a little bit. Let me save this out. Do example 1. What you can do with rank checker is come into the tools, go to options, and delay between queries, let's do 15 seconds. Google may still be blacklisting me, but we'll see here. I'll go to presets. I'll do example 1. Rank checker, run, open, example 1, select that. We'll see if this actually works. This may not work for Google, may still be mad at me. Notice it's now going to wait 15 seconds before it does another set. So if you do this, and you set it to run every 15 or 20 seconds or so, obviously it's going to take a little while if you've got 100 different keywords or key phrases that you're actually searching for. But when you're done, down at the bottom you can export results to a CSV. That's essentially an Excel file. That way you can actually combine your Excel files over a range of times, and if you're good at Excel, you can build yourself a graph to see which things you're gaining rank and which things you're losing rank. Rather than just looking at the raw data, you can build graphs in Excel and so forth. Lots of great things you can do here with Rank Checker. I must really have hacked off Google there. I actually may need to update my Rank Checker. That may be why Google is not. But if you see a bunch of ticks all in a row there, especially when it was working before but it isn't now, that's an indication that your delay between queries box here, you need to raise that to maybe 30 seconds or 60 seconds or whatever in between. My favorite, Rank Checker. And by the way, you can use this not only to check your rank, but any website for any keywords. So you can check other people's websites as well. Spy on your competition and see how they're doing. And of course, since you can export to an Excel file, you can do all kinds of graphs and do comparisons there. Okay, the last thing I want to mention for this class is about social networking. Folks, there's more than just ActiveRain. Facebook is free. It's easy to do. It provides that link back to your website that's important. But, and this is an important conceptual thing to understand, Google connects people to information. Facebook connects people to people. I have actually seen, for instance, agents who have given up on websites completely and essentially do business through Facebook because they've realized that, hey, I'm in the marketing business, I'm in the one-on-one service business, and they've found a way to do through referrals and so forth, do business almost exclusively on the web through Facebook and sometimes Twitter as well. LinkedIn is good, John, but LinkedIn is a business social network, not necessarily a friendish social network.